And now, Splunk's Cybersecurity 60-second charity challenge. Remember the rules. You've got to get through an entire subject in 60 seconds, or you donate to today's charity of choice. Good luck! Okay, we tried to kill the dings, but the dings will not make us.
I don't know
really
how to
popular.
computer. I don't know how to
computer. Just going to get some advice from
HR.
That's a whole different matter. Today's charity challenge is why Spring4Shell didn't happen, the rise and fall of a CVE. And our charity today is going to be one supporting the Transgender Day of Visibility, which was very recently. We have a lot of friends and folks impacted by a lot of things going on in the world, and we just want to recognize them and give some money over to folks who can help make a difference in those causes.
So for those of you not keeping track at home, Spring4Shell was the most recent little CVE that almost was, right? Yep. And we kind of thought it was going to be the next Log4Shell.
Could be.
The next solar, and again, it still could be, but it wasn't the fire we all thought it was. So we're kind of going to break down why. And if I remember correctly, Drew, who won last time?
You, Mick?
That's right. So, Ryan, I think you'll kick off today's 60-second challenge.
That's so wonderful, because I didn't have a great chance to prepare, but I have been pretty heavily involved in Spring4Shell. So, Drew, roll clip, and let's see what I can get out the gate. As remember, the Spring4Shell didn't happen. So, for those of you who have been paying attention or not paying attention, Spring4Shell was yet another Java vulnerability or something along those lines. Java, of course, is made to be your kind of any platform. It is buried and embedded everywhere from the space station to missiles to TVs to laptops to everything. So every time there's a Java vulnerability, it causes the entire world to take a big, deep breath of absolute terror. This was, of course, completely exemplified by the Log4Shell incident, which took over my entire life and many others in the industry. When the first words about Spring4Shell came out, it was a very confusing blog post that I read about 20, 30 times, never fully understood it, but Java equals bad. So we started spinning up things and getting really ready for this. As time went on, it turned out there were two different CVEs, two different RCEs. No one's 100% sure how they worked. There's some compromise happening. There's a whole bunch of mass scanning, but it turns out it looked to be very difficult. It was also happening during a very busy news cycle. So although CVE could have been bad for Spring4Shell, it kind of fizzled.
Oh, so good.
I'm so going to lose. You have a prepared
I wrote things. All right, Drew, you ready to go? All right, so I'm reminded of a line from Locksley Hall, Lord Tennyson's poem about cousin love. In the spring, a young man's fancy turns to thoughts of love. Or in this case, entirely confusing set of exploits that may or may not have been cause for alarm. I'm still not 100% sure, to be honest with you, because as pedantic as the InfoSec is, we're still really bad at communication. So Spring Core versus Spring Cloud, it sounds super confusing because it is. So let's break this down super simple, because I'm a simple guy. It's like streaming a DVD or streaming a movie versus watching a DVD. It's the same movie, just a different vehicle. And in one case, the Easter egg was an RCE. So looking at all this, you're going to put out a fire that was Log4Shell a few weeks ago. If you did the patching, you did the updates for that, you're pretty much fine for the most part. But again, this could flare back up. And for those of you hoping that, a thunderbolt would come wiping out Spring RCEs, it didn't happen. So blue teams, do the diligence. It's the same thing, and you're going to be fine.
All right. Since Audra is off on location, Drew, tell me how bad I lost, brother. So Mick lost.
No, you did, Ryan.
No.
That's right. Bring up Locksley Hall. It's always a winner. Always a winner. But hey, folks watching, if you want to chime in and with who you thought won, we'll be watching.
There we go.